Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Your Conestoga Today. I'm Bruce de la Cruz, and I'll be your host for today. Now, believe it or not, today is our 20th episode of our morning show. I just wanted to take a moment to thank everyone that has made this project possible, from my colleagues to our student volunteers and our guests who have volunteered their time to help out on our show. Thank you so much. This is also our last week of producing Your Conestoga Today for the semester. Now don't worry, we have a terrific set of stories and studio guests planned out just for our viewers this week, and we plan to resume in the new year, so stay tuned for that. Now onto our quote of the week, by famous American writer William Arthur Ward. Gratitude can transform common days into Thanksgivings, turn routine jobs into joy, and change ordinary opportunities into blessings. Now, life may not always make sense. You might find yourself asking, why didn't I get that promotion? Why didn't I get that new car I wanted? Among other things. Now, I can't tell you how to feel or how you should fix your problems, but for me personally, remembering what I'm thankful for goes a long way. Gratitude goes a long way. And with that, let's move to our weather and traffic report for today. Starting with the weather, as you can see by our live satellite map here in Canada, in southern Ontario, we have some cloud cover just in our area. And if we zoom in, kind of pixelated, but that's all right. Now let's look at our measured temperature for today in this area. Okay, so let's zoom into Kitchener, Ontario, and the surrounding areas. It's around 5 degrees Celsius. Not too bad. Put on a sweater or a light jacket. Over here in Guelph, it'll reach up to 4 degrees currently. And coming down to Cambridge, no exact data in this area, so I'm guessing it's going to be around 5 degrees Celsius, like the rest of the Waterloo region. Coming down to Brantford, it is currently 5 degrees Celsius as well. And if we go over to Ingersoll, again, not so much data exactly in Ingersoll, but nearby Crampton is 5 degrees Celsius right now. So it's probably around the same in Ingersoll. And let's move up to Stratford before we continue on. And over here in Stratford, 4 degrees Celsius right now. So that's the current temperature across most of the campuses that Conestoga has. And so let's exit out of that map, and let's see the measured precipitation for today. Okay, and so here in Kitchener, if we go to, if we look over here in Breslau where there's some more data, it is currently there's a 0 planned precipitation right now. In Guelph, there's 0 millimeters of any precipitation of any kind. Stratford, again, not so much data, but I'm willing to bet it's around the same as the other regions that we've looked at already. Same with Ingersoll, not so much to go off of there. And Brantford is 0 millimeters. And Guelph is also 0 millimeters for planned precipitation today. And let's double check if we've looked at all the maps that there are to offer. And I think that's about it for weather. And so let's head over to traffic now. All right, again, we're starting Kitchener. If we zoom out, it looks mostly green, but obviously that's not always the case. So let's try to get the bigger picture today. Okay, all right, so we're zooming into Kitchener. Let's start right by the Doon campus. Let's see, there we are. Say hi, everybody, to Doon campus. Hi everybody. Not too much happening in our area right now. A few red spots coming off the 12, but other than that, very green. But if you go towards the 401 this way, towards Cambridge and Preston Heights, there is some slowdown areas, so just careful around there. And I mentioned this before, but this road is still closed. This ramp is still closed until May 2025. So just avoid that area. Let's go back towards the other parts of Kitchener. A few slowdowns over here on Highway 8, or on King Street East as well, by Stanley Park. And if we zoom out, right here by the Kitchener sign on Google at least, let's see what's happening there. All right, so Duke Street East is closed until January 7th of 2025. 17th, sorry. And that's a lot of closures. Let's see what's happening here. So this is closed. King Street West is closed until midnight. So try your best to avoid those areas. Sorry, that. Francis Street South is closed until 2026, with some slowdowns on Victoria Street South as well. Those are the main areas in Kitchener. We can keep looking around. I think I already covered this road closure before, but I will just remind everyone that Union Boulevard is closed until January 13th of 2025 in the new year. All right, let's check out Waterloo and see what's going on here. Not much, honestly. That's mostly green. Commuters don't have to worry about a thing, except if you're going on Herb Street West. There is some construction here on Herb Street West, so just careful there. We covered a bit of Cambridge already, but let's see what else is happening. Let's see what else is going on. Preston Heights. All right. And here's my neighborhood again. Hi, Mom and Dad. They're actually probably not at home right now, probably visiting my sister. She just had a baby, so congrats to her. Anyway, here on Dundas Street North and Highway 24, there are some slowdown areas, so just be careful there. Little's Corners is still closed. Let's see again. That's closed until December 31st. Mars Road and Regional Road 43, so just be careful around that area. That covers most of Cambridge. Not too much happening in Hespeler Village or West Galt either. So let's go down to Brantford. There you are. Okay. Everyone can see that? Good. Okay. So let's zoom in. Yeah, mostly green. Not too much to worry about. I saw this road closure over here. Brant Avenue is still closed until January 4th of 2025. So plan accordingly. Ooh, there's some slowdowns here over in Wayne Gretzky Parkway. So just avoid those areas. That seems to be what's happening here in Brantford. Let's go over to Ingersoll. All right. Oh, that's a lot more red than I'm used to seeing in Ingersoll. Ingersoll, what are you doing? King Street West seems to be has the biggest slowdown right now, so just be careful in that area. Other than that, mostly green. Let's head over to Stratford now. We're close. We're gonna find, oh, Shakespeare, so I'm on the right track. There we go, good. Just want to say a big shout out to my geography teachers in grade 4. I know my Waterloo region thanks to you guys. All right, so in Stratford, mostly green, some yellow spots, some yellow areas, barely any red slowdown areas, just a tiny one here on Highway 8. Same with one here on Erie Street. And if we zoom in closely, one here on Downey Street as well, but not too much to worry about. And finally, let's head over to Guelph. All right, Guelph, here we are. Let's zoom in on this bad boy. Oh, yep, Guelph has been naughty. Lots of slowdowns here by the Guelph Driving School on Aramosa Road. Same with Highway 7 coming this way. And over by the Ethnic Supermarket, there is a road closure on the Ontario 7 and York Road. So, and that's closed until December 21st. So again, just plan accordingly. And that is it for traffic and weather. And so let's head on over to some campus news. Conestoga is accepting applications for a new tuition-free motorcycle maintenance training program. Starting in January 2025, this unique, fully funded tri-trade program will give participants the opportunity to develop hands-on skills with tool use and maintenance techniques while working on motorcycles as well as some power sport vehicles. This 4-week program may help participants determine if they would like to pursue a career as a motorcycle technician or another mode of power trade. In addition, students will be able to develop an understanding of trade-specific, academic, job search, and employment skills. Tuition, course materials, tools, and work boots are included. Enrollment is limited to 15 spaces. Interested candidates are required to attend an information session. Information sessions will be held in person on December 10th and the 17th at the Brantford Municipal Airport. To register, please complete the online form, which can be found on the Try Trade Drive Your Future webpage on the college website at conestogac.on.ca. And for more information, please contact Kristen Goetz at trytrade@conestogac.on.ca or call 519-574-6900. And with that, let's move to some local events happening right here in the Waterloo region. First up, in Kitchener, on December 14th, the Ken Selling Museum invites you to their Winter Masquerade Ball. The museum will be transformed into an enchanted winter wonderland, as lights and sounds will entice visitors into spending their Saturday evening at the museum. Planned activities include a Charleston dance lesson, an expansive charcuterie board, a costume masquerade contest, a photo booth, and a cash bar. Regular tickets will be $55 plus tax, and this is a 19+ event. Valid government ID is required. All ticket sales are final with no refunds. For more info and to register, visit the Waterloo Region Museum's event calendar at calendar.waterlooregionmuseum.ca. And now on to some events in Waterloo. Travel back in time during the holiday season with Christmas in the Cabin with the City of Waterloo Museum. On select nights, we're bringing the past to life inside the cozy log cabin in Waterloo Park, offering a festive, family-friendly experience you don't want to miss with Wonders of Winter's light display. There will be chances to craft traditional holiday decorations and toys from long ago Christmases, and chances to learn more about the history of the cabin, which was once a schoolhouse and family home for the Carroll family. Dates in December include the 13th, the 19th, and the 20th, with tours taking place from 6 to 8 p.m. For more information, visit the City of Waterloo events calendar at events.waterloo.ca. And finally, some events in Cambridge. On Sunday, December 15th, you can catch a Christmas concert in Cambridge. Taking place from 7 p.m. to 8:40 p.m. at the Presbyterian Church on 7 Queen Square, Cambridge, performances will include the Gull Kilt Band with the guest artist and the Cambridge Girls Choir. For more information, visit the City of Cambridge events calendar at calendar.cambridge.ca. This past November marked the return of the Kitchener Comic-Con. After a 4-year hiatus, the event was held at Kitchener City Hall and saw a myriad of interesting characters. Attendees felt the community spirit the Comic-Con has to offer as they visited vendors, attended panels, and watched the film festival. Spoke Online reporter Rowan Fizzler has the story.
Following a 4-year hiatus, Kitchener Comic-Con is back, looking to make the same impact on its local community as it did before the pandemic. Held at Kitchener City Hall in its 9th year running, the event gave locals the chance to meet like-minded people through their respective interests and niches. Local sword enthusiast Kim Ta expressed how these types of events feel like a second home to her.
I just like going because the people are amazing. It's a very different atmosphere. People are so friendly, and you can geek out about stuff that you normally feel like you can't. It's a different environment, a different atmosphere that I really enjoy.
Many guests attended the event dressed in cosplay, sporting the looks and outfits of their favorite characters. Local cosplayer Carter Arsenal believes that cosplay isn't cosplay unless everyone can participate.
That's exactly what it's about. Cosplay is for everyone. Cosplay is safe and exclusive. It doesn't matter if you don't look as much like a character as you wish you did. You can still cosplay them. Who cares, right? I'm a trans guy. I'm breaking all the rules with gender and stuff like that. So really, I just want people to know that they have a space here.
City Hall was filled with various vendors, showcasing their companies, causes, and creations. Dakota Hart, founder of KW Creators, wanted to give back to the community that gave him so much.
But I wanted to spread the love, essentially, you could say. And I know that creative people, they sometimes don't get the love, you could say, especially in like more serious industries. They almost are thrown to the sideline because they are creative, and most corporate companies kind of snuff out the creativity. But I just kind of want to revive that, keep it going. Of course, you need creative people people in your life.
Kitchener Comic-Con hope to return to Kitchener City Hall for their 10th anniversary in the new year. For Spoke Online, I'm Rowan Fissler.
After watching that news piece, I think I finally know a good place to wear my Japanese maid outfit. Either way, be sure to stay up to date on Kitchener Comic-Con by visiting their website at kitchenercomiccon2.wixsite.com. And now, on to some events from CSI and student success. There's no denying it, Condors. The end of the semester is here. As a former Conestoga student myself, I understand exactly what you're going through. You're overworked, sleep-deprived, and frankly, you just want to be held. Okay, maybe that last one was just me. Either way, CSI has the perfect pick-me-up for all of you looking for a break from studying. Today from 11:30 to 12:30 p.m., Conestoga's very own Cliffy the Condor will be handing out free coffee and snacks to students. Happening across all campuses, be sure to say hi to Cliffy and grab your coffee while supplies last. Student Success is serving up their own brand of self-care during these trying times. Today from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m., visit the breathing spaces at the Dune and downtown Kitchener campuses for some cocoa and play. You heard that right. Have a nice warm cup of hot cocoa and play some board games to take your mind off of studying for a little while. Be sure to check it out. And that's all for our news broadcast on Your Conestoga Today. When we come back from the break, we will be talking to Pamela Hall, a professor of the Respiratory Therapy program here at the Dune campus. Listen in as we talk about her career here at Conestoga and how she and a few of her students were presented with prestigious awards in their field earlier this year. See you soon. And up next for the special of the day, we have a meatball sub and Caesar salad, or veggie pasta and Caesar salad, all for $8.99. Sounds like a steal in any language. Be sure to check it out at the Dune campus cafeteria.
Good luck today.
Thanks, man.
How I'm loving life these days. I see it falling into place. It's coming together. I don't even need to chase it. You see it written on my face. It's the right time, right place. How I'm loving life these days. It's the right time, right place. How I'm loving life these days.
Everybody at Conestoga, please welcome Jordan Kilgannon.
I got to grow up with a father who I looked up to, who showed me what it takes to make it in sports, and a mom and stepdad who showed me what it takes to make it with the rest of my life. The thing I love about dunking, the way I take it more as an artist and as a way to develop myself and go all out. So when I saw that, I was like, let's see what happens if I go all out. If I sacrifice everything else I love and just go for this one thing and master this one thing. So I guess my biggest accomplishment is the fact that I got to live the life that I did, being a pro dunker, traveling the world, and doing what I love. Like, it's no idea that was possible. So I'm just grateful for that.
There's a lot of challenges that our leaders are facing in not-for-profit right now. So the work we're doing here is going to help alleviate that. We're hoping that it helps to actually amplify and contribute to the work you're doing. You're in this room right now with some of the brightest lights in communications and design. Everyone here deserves a giant round of applause for your fantastic work.
All right, and so we're back here for Your Conestoga Today on the interview section, and we're here with Pamela Hall, who is a professor of the Respiratory Therapy program. Pam, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, Bruce. It's a real treat to be here and to see your space. It's lovely.
I heard that you were one of the people that worked in this space before
Yes,
we
these
arrived.
were our offices. That's right. They look much different back then.
Yes, I bet. I bet.
Yep.
And so, fun fact, we actually had Pam on CCD-TV News back in May. And now, basically, we just want to catch up with you, Pam, and see how you've been doing.
Yeah.
Why don't you remind the audience what we interviewed you about back then in May?
Right. Well, I was contacted by Rowan back in May because I was honored to receive an educational award. So for the Canadian Society of Respiratory Therapists, it was the Robert Mary Excellence in Education Award, which is given out once a year to a respiratory therapist in Canada. And it was unbelievable to get that award. Yeah.
And the conference that you attended for that was all the way in Banff.
Yeah, it
Was that your
lovely.
first time there?
No, it was my second time in Banff, but
very
first
cool.
time for that conference
I
there.
see.
Yes.
And what other events were at the conference? Was it just awards, or were there opportunities for learning as well?
Yeah, it was. It was a 3-day educational conference with some social events as well. Lots of opportunity to kind of mix and mingle. And I should also mention as well that I won that award, but we also had 2 students win awards as well.
Perfect.
And that was amazing. So the awards that they won, so at the end of our program, students will challenge a registry exam. So it's a national exam. And, at the end of that exam, and there's usually somewhere between 450 and 500 writers of that exam each year. And then they award, a gold, silver, and bronze medal. So this year we won a gold medal, Jenna Toffoli, and a bronze medal, Gustavo Perez. Yeah, both from Conestoga College. So that was really amazing.
How does it feel to not only have one student, but 2 students that you managed win awards?
Listen, I'm telling you, when I taught them, there were many, many times that, them sitting in a classroom, I knew that they knew more than I did. They're very, very bright. It was not a surprise that
good.
they were both on the awards.
That's good. And again, what did their actual awards entail? What did they have to accomplish, basically?
Right. So those are the highest marks in the country.
In the country.
In the country for that exam, and that exam is not an easy exam.
Right.
So, amongst the schools, throughout Canada, and off the top of my head, I can't remember exactly how many RT schools there are, but certainly there's 8 now in Ontario. So I think there's about 14, throughout Canada, and each having a good cohort of students that would write this exam.
Right. Now, those 2 students, are they still here with you, or have they moved on and graduated?
They've moved on.
Oh, you must feel so happy, but also just sad to see them go.
Absolutely.
From your classroom.
Absolutely. Our favorite time with students, of course, is sort of orientation and when they start our programs. And as happy as we are to see them go, it's sad, right? Because we're still here and they're off doing their thing. And but we're super, super proud of them. And, you know, both of them have gone on to very rewarding careers. Jenna is in the NICU, so the neonatal critical care unit in Hamilton, in McMaster, and Gustavo is at Cambridge Memorial Hospital right now.
Very nice, very local
Yeah,
as well.
yeah,
that's good.
exactly, right? They're supporting local, and that is nice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And do you mind bringing us back to your own award again?
Right.
And so, was there a specific event that you were awarded for, or was it just like a culmination of everything that you've done as a teacher?
I think it was, honestly, I think it was sort of like a lifelong,
I see.
you know, once you get to this stage in your career, I guess, when you look back at your accomplishments and things. That being said, I think about the people that have won that award before me, and they've all been mentors to me, and they're all people that you kind of idolize and you know, think, you know, I strive to do half the things that these people do. So when I was notified that I won that award, it was you know, a little bit of disbelief with me. But yeah, so you know what, if I'm a mentor for other people, then that's my goal.
That's good. That's good. Now, do you have like a physical trophy or like?
I do.
Is it framed or?
Well, that particular one I have, and I just put it in a place where my husband can see it, so he can, you know, just remember that I'm an award winner.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
You know.
I mean, he won the greatest award. He's right to you. So.
Right.
No, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Was there anything that was new that you learned from that conference in terms of some of the other developmental courses that they had?
Absolutely. The conference every year is always so well done. And there's different streams, you know, so you can sort of mix and match and kind of find the topics that are of most interest to you. A lot of what we do here at Conestoga is guided by what we see at the conference.
Okay.
So, you know, we've been very fortunate and supported through Conestoga to be able to attend these conferences every year, and it moves around. So this year it was in Banff, that was great, you know. And next year it's in Ottawa.
Oh, very nice.
So it usually goes East Coast, West Coast, you know, back to sort of central Canada as well. But yeah, I mean, you know, it's very important, I think, and especially in a field like respiratory therapy, because it is a field that is heavily evolving.
Yes.
And very fast-paced. You know, it evolves at a very fast pace. So it's important for us to stay on top of those things. Many of us still work clinically at the bedside, or have until recently.
Right.
I worked in the NICU in London for 20 or just over 20 years, and then went to Grand River Hospital during the COVID pandemic.
Thank you for your service.
Yeah, thank you. You know, I didn't do much, but you know, in comparison to what everyone else was doing during that pandemic, it was something else. But it is nice to be able to kind of stay current and have that frame of reference in the classroom.
And that's definitely not just exclusive to your program in the health and life sciences.
Right.
I feel like healthcare itself is always evolving, like you mentioned.
Yes.
What are some things that you're looking forward to for the new year, just in terms of just any new things that are coming to healthcare in general?
Oh, let's see. I mean, AI is really something. So I'm actually looking forward. I just recently attended an educational day put on by our Respiratory Therapy Society of Ontario. And it was around innovation in healthcare and respiratory therapy. So there's a lot of new diagnostics aided by artificial intelligence that I think is going to be on the forefront of the conference coming up as well. We're doing a lot of new things here at Conestoga as well, one of which being ultrasound-guided diagnostics and procedural ultrasound-guided procedures, which is definitely new for us. So Carl Weiss, who is another professor in the RT program, has sort of spearheaded that and has taken our students through a lot of that, which will really give them an edge when they enter into their clinical environments.
Perfect. And I think that's actually the perfect segue into my next question. We've talked a lot about respiratory therapy, but do you mind just describing what that is for people that might not know?
Sure.
And what you do at Conestoga, basically?
Right.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I mean, it's funny because respiratory therapy, most people did not know what that was until the respiratory pandemic. But a lot of even my family members would say that they thought that was just a specialty area of nursing, and it's not. But we work alongside nursing. So here at Conestoga, it is a 3-year advanced diploma. Our primary role is critical care. So we're dealing with patients who are on life support, but we have a very broad, expansive role away from that as well. So there's definitely different areas that you can go into with respiratory therapy, different patient populations as well. So adult, pediatric, neonates. We deal with a lot of diagnostics like pulmonary function testing, polysomnography, so sleep studies, cardiac stress testing, things like that. And we also manage a lot of patients at home, and more of our patients are going home with oxygen or maybe with a tracheostomy, and or on a home ventilator.
Yeah.
So there's lots of opportunity in sales. There's opportunity in education, of course. Community care, hospital work, those sorts of places as well.
Perfect. And so, on a broad spectrum, what does care actually look like for each patient?
Oh, well, it could be, it's quite broad.
It's broad, but I'm just curious,
Sure.
Because I'm just thinking of, does she give mouth to mouth to people? Respiratory, what does that actually mean?
Yeah, what does it mean? And I think a lot of times too, if you think about medical shows that you see on TV, a lot of the role of the RT is, on TV is kind of taken over by nurses or physicians or whatever on TV. In real life, we're there for airway management. We are on the cardiac arrest teams. We're on the rapid response teams. We do transports of patients, throughout Canada and even outside of Canada as well. Oxygen therapy, definitely, and support for ventilation are our biggest roles. But medication administration, you're going to find respiratory therapists in operating rooms as well to support anesthesia. There are expanded roles for respiratory therapists too, one of which being anesthesia assistants, which that's a very big role right now, especially when you think of the bottleneck when it comes to surgeries and things like that. We need more people to be able to help to support patients going through anesthesia and having surgeries and things like that.
I see. Thank you for painting the bigger picture for me now.
Sure.
Was this program always offered by Conestoga, or is it slightly new?
It is. I mean, in the whole scheme of things, it's not that new anymore, but this program started in 2006.
Okay.
Prior to that, you had well-established programs in London at Fanshawe College and also at the Michener Institute in Toronto. So for Conestoga to sort of bring in a program right in between these two big established programs, it was interesting.
Game changer.
It was kind of a game changer, but it was brought in a very intentional way.
Yeah.
Medical simulation, it was a big focus. So what we have found is that our program has it sort of began with simulation as a core component, and then it has evolved from there.
I see.
We get a lot of reports that our students are very prepared when they enter their clinical environments because we make simulation so real for them here. And there's an entire team at Conestoga that is involved with that. So that's good.
Right.
So from 2006 to now, it would still be considered a relatively new program.
And so you mentioned simulations.
Yep.
What are some other things that you think sets Conestoga's program apart from other schools that offer very similar programs?
Yes, that's a good question. I think aside from, we all follow the same, we're all accredited programs, and we have what's called a national competency framework. So we all kind of follow that in whatever way we feel is appropriate.
Right.
That as long as it follows accreditation standards, right? But I think what sets Conestoga apart from some of the other colleges is we find it very important to establish a sense of community with our students. There is a lot of support. I think that when you think about healthcare right now, and you think about, everybody's heard about the post-traumatic stress disorders and the burnout that there is in healthcare. Being able to create some resiliency in our students, as they are students and entering into their clinical world, is very, very important. To know that they have the appropriate supports, and to know that they are supported so that they can actually kind of go out on a limb and try some new things and really, kind of create those new experiences and feel like they're in a safe environment, I think is very important. We make connections with our students very early on in our program, and we also create opportunities for students to create connections with each other. Upper year students with lower year students and that sort of thing, right? Respiratory therapy is a very small field in comparison to things like nursing, and so once a student graduates and they're out in the working fields, they're our peers, and like I said, it's sort of like everybody knows someone.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
But I think moving out into healthcare today, it being as challenging as it is, having that resiliency is very, very important.
That's good. That's good. Do you mind providing some solid examples that you saw in the classroom during this past year when you're talking about community with students?
Right. Right.
Some team building exercises?
Absolutely,
or...
for sure.
Yeah.
We have what's called a student federation actually for our program. And so it is, there's an executive for that. So it's our Conestoga Respiratory Therapy Federation. And it's a CSI supported group.
Okay.
Yeah, that's great. And so we have an executive there, and those executives are current second-year students as well as first-year students. We also have our PAC representative on there. We also have our president for WISC, which I'll talk about in just a second. That group, yeah, and they all are on the executive for the CRTF. They create opportunities. They might be educational opportunities, social opportunities. It starts in week one, with sort of an orientation. Second-year students orientate first-year students, and then onwards from there. And it's team building and social events, throughout their time with us. Even when they move into their third year, which is their clinical year, they're all over Southwestern Ontario for that. But a lot of times they will come back for some of these events as well.
From the way that you're selling this program, Pam, I kind of want to quit on the spot, give it a try.
You know what? You just talk to me after the interview.
Sounds good. Now, you mentioned WIST.
Yes.
Do you mind just explaining what that is?
I sure will. So part of my role this year and last year has been a little bit expanded.
Okay.
And so myself and another faculty member, Karen Singleton, who's actually a coordinator for practical nursing, the two of us facilitate or support a student-led group called WISC, which is a very long title, but it's an interprofessional group of health, life sciences, and community service students that all come together and collaborate and learn, with and from and about one another.
Right.
So as much as it's important to create that community within respiratory therapy, it's even that much more important to have our students understand what the role of other professions are, and that we have similar scope. Sometimes our scope of practice overlap with the other programs, and maybe sometimes they don't, but we have to kind of consider, like, for example, let's say we had somebody come in and they were a motor vehicle collision, and they're brought to hospital. What has happened with that person before they get to us?
Yes.
Let's talk about what policing does. Let's talk about firefighters. Let's talk about paramedics. And then as they bring those patients into us in hospital, so it's nice for students to get that other frame of reference. We've dealt with the School of Pharmacy at Waterloo, we've dealt with social work and, you know, a lot of our different community service programs, protection, security, and investigations even, right? To bring all of these people together so that they can appreciate everyone else's scope is also very important. And then also they get to make those connections for the future as well.
Exactly. Collaboration is so important.
Yeah, that's right.
You mentioned like so many of the other emergency services. When you graduate, those are going to be your colleagues in the near future. So I think that's a great thing that's happening with WISC.
Yes, yes.
I did have another question about your students, Pam.
Sure.
What's one quality that you think is so needed for this program to succeed?
Oh, wow.
If you could just narrow it down.
Yes, to one quality.
Yeah.
I think it would be the ability to listen.
Okay.
Yeah, to really listen to what your colleagues, your patients, you know, are telling you, right? Because I think if you have that opportunity or you have the ability to really capture or understand where someone's coming from, it gives you a better opportunity to manage their care.
Right. I came across a quote not too long ago that went like, were you listening or were you just waiting for your turn to speak?
Ah, love it.
So I think that it's very applicable here as well.
I think it is.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. And so if you don't mind, how did you get into respiratory therapy?
Oh, well, that's actually an interesting story.
We have time for it.
Great. That's good. So back when I was in high school, I had a cousin who was born at 28 weeks gestation, which basically means they were born, you know, a normal gestation is somewhere in the vicinity of 40 weeks.
So premature.
Premature, that's right. So about, 3 months premature. And at that time, this was back a few years, management of a patient that size was much different than it is today. So he was quite ill. And he ended up being transferred to London into the neonatal critical care unit there. So in visiting that unit and seeing the role of the RT with those patients, I always had that in my mind that might be something that I could kind of sink my teeth into. I went to university with the thought that, maybe I'll just kind of keep my horizons broad for a little while. But it didn't take very long for me to realize that that's actually where I wanted to be. So I went to Fanshawe. That's where I went to school after finishing my degree and started working in London in adult critical care. But after a couple of years, I moved into the NICU. And really, that's my passion. Loved it there.
And then when did you start teaching here at Conestoga? Were you here from the beginning at 2006, like you mentioned? Or?
Not quite.
Not quite, okay.
Not quite. Now, but prior to Conestoga, I did actually teach at Fanshawe.
Okay, very
So
nice.
I taught at Fanshawe from 1996 until 2004. And then my husband and I and our kids moved this way. So, it sort of was a time for me to move on from Fanshawe.
Right.
And Conestoga was starting their program. But I didn't get in right off the bat. I actually came in 2008 as a subject matter expert in simulation for neonatal critical care.
Very fancy title.
Exactly. Yes, we short form it and just call them SMEs.
Okay, SMEs, I'll remember that.
That's right. But I think, and that's the other thing too, is it's very important when it comes to simulation that the experiences that you're offering for the students are real. And so you have to have the experts in that field or that particular area of focus to create those real experiences, right? And so that's why they brought me here. It was my first real taste of simulation, and I quite enjoyed it.
That's good.
And then from there, I took on a couple of courses, and in 2009, I came on full-time.
Very cool.
So I've been here since then. It's my 15th year this year.
Congrats.
Thank
Congrats.
you. Thank you.
During your 15 years here at Conestoga, what's been your favorite memory or just like a standout moment that you still carry with you to this day?
Well, what I would say is it's more than just a moment, but it is the team that I work with. So as I walked into this program as a subject matter expert, and then as I came on full time, what is really, really important and impactful is the other people that are part of the faculty and staff of the RT program. Everyone would drop anything if you needed them, kind of
Right.
thing, right? And so the support from that, I think basically what happened was, there's a community that had already been developed even through the faculty and staff, which then permeated into the students as well. So, that was my sort of aha moment that, what the support that I feel and the comfort that you feel in this program as a faculty, let's get the students, kind of feeling the same thing.
Perfect. And bringing it back to the students, what are some things that students should know already if they want to take this course?
Well, what I would say
Yeah.
is it is a excuse me, it's a heavily oversubscribed program. So what we encourage students to do before they come in is do their research.
Sure.
Is this actually what they want to do? So we give them lots of resources to kind of look around and explore. A job shadow or a visit to a hospital is a good idea. And just to kind of make sure that this is the element of healthcare that they're interested in, right? Respiratory is a little bit more technical than nursing. So if you like that, thought of getting to kind of troubleshoot and kind of look at a piece of equipment and try to fix it and, that sort of thing, you get sort of a mix of therapeutics, with patients, but also that technical aspect. Some people love it and some people don't. So I would say that's something that I would encourage students to do before they come in.
Perfect. Is there any other advice you want to give to students there, Pam?
You know what? I think, and I say this to my kids because I have 3 kids and they're all, one just finished post-secondary and 2 are currently in post-secondary. Enjoy every minute. Enjoy it. It doesn't last long. It feels like it. It feels like a long process. It's not, so enjoy it, make your connections. I know my RT students, the friends that they make in RT school are the friends that they have forever, really. So, just, enjoy each day.
Perfect. Now, moving away from the Conestoga stuff, I just had a question. I think earlier that you mentioned that you're involved with some nonprofits in respiratory therapy outside the college. Did you want to speak about some of those? Or?
Yeah, you know what? I would say that definitely I support the Respiratory Therapy Society of Ontario and the Canadian Society of Respiratory Therapists as well.
Yeah.
Definitely, we've done different talks and things like that for them. That's about it. I would say our Student Federation does a lot of fundraising that we're involved with as well.
I see. And do you mind just explaining what those 2 organizations do?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
The Canadian, they're the voice of respiratory therapy, one in Ontario and one Canada-wide sort of thing. So it's nice to have that communication and connection with those organizing bodies.
With those those collaborations as well.
Exactly.
Perfect. Pam, before we end the interview, we just want to give you the chance to speak one last time, just to share whatever you want to the camera and to the viewers at home.
My apologies. I'm just getting over a cold. No, I just, you know what? I just want to thank you. This was a great experience. And, if I can bring respiratory therapy to the front of young people's minds as maybe a potential option or something they'd like to, research and look into, then I've done what I've come to accomplish. Certainly anyone listening, if they want to talk more about it, they're more than welcome to email me.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Pam. Congrats again on your earlier award this year.
Thank you.
And this has been Your Conestoga Today with Bruce de la Cruz and Pam Hall. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Conestoga College Digital TV, and also follow us on Instagram at ccdtv.ca. We're almost at 1,000 followers on both platforms. We'd love if we could get to 1,000 by the end of the new year, or by the end of this year, sorry. So please like and follow. If you have any news tips or any production ideas, just go ahead and email us at productions@conestoga.on.ca. And this is Bruce, and for the rest of the team at CCDTV, and for my co-host Mamazo Nwokoro, I'm Bruce de la Cruz. See you next time.